Hi guys, it's RiVa Co. Join me as I do my get ready with me. It's been a very long time since I've done something that's more heart to heart to you guys. So this is practically just a bit of a touch-in. How you doing? What's going on? How's the cats? The studies, the workplace, the kids, right? That's where we are now. The comments are always open. Check in there if you want to have a bit of a cheeky chat with RiVa. But today I'm just going to do a bit of a get ready with me. I feel like I haven't done one before and it's kind of vulnerable of me to do this. But I don't want to say ritual, but my getting ready process has kind of been a very personal thing for me. I remember when get ready with me's were becoming a thing. And I remember seeing that and thinking, how could anybody want to be that vulnerable in front of a camera? But I feel like it's taken me a long time to get here. So thank you for being with me on this journey, because you are seeing a very big improvement on who I am as a person. We're doing a get ready with me that's a bit gonna be not our daily kind of get ready with me, but just a bit below glam. For foundation, do not judge me. This is a get ready with me on a budget, okay? This budget does seem a bit weird, but bear with me. So the first what I'm going to use for my foundation, I'm going to put my foundation on is PS Perfect Color, and it's the matte coverage but double coverage, and it's from Primark. I wanted something that was actually a bit more kind of lighter, so we're actually going to be mixing it. What I'm going to do is use a bit of Time Wise Mary Kay. It's a matte wear. I like to use matte foundation because I'm a very kind of like, if I'm moving around I get sweaty a lot and I feel like the dewiness comes from my sweat when it comes to makeup, so I like to go matte so that I can prepare. It's kind of like preemptively for the rest of the day so that I don't look too shiny but I just look kind of like glowy. So I'm going to mix it. It's a beige 8. We're going to be doing a bit of color furry. It's not like the best mix but it's something. I'm using like just like a blush brush. I got these from H&M like ages ago in a sale. They've been by me ever since then and I will stand by them ever since then. They work, they do the job, and again, you'll be hearing me saying throughout this whole get ready with me, if it's not broken, do not fix it. As you can see as well, like my skin is kind of like so many skin complications, I'm not even going to go into it. But these actually all started to kind of arise within my early 20s, which is, I don't know why, because it's kind of funny because during secondary school and sixth form, even like my first years of university, I always kind of like had that baby kind of clean face. I never had issues with my skin. I could easily walk out of the house without touching my face and literally just do my eyebrows and that was it. Like I did my eyebrows and that was it. And not because I was literally like a low maintenance girl, but I generally didn't need to do much in order for my skin to look flawless. That's not being like kind of bigging on myself or anything, but I just generally had really good skin. But it seems like the times have caught up to me. My skin nowadays does seem to get a lot of kind of like patches. Like my mum has told me it's eczema from when I was a kid and she just used to put Vaseline and it used to like subside. But it's kind of a bit more than that, I feel like, because it does come and go. And it's not based on my diet. Doesn't matter what my diet is, it just does what it wants. Obviously during PMS it gets a lot worse, but that's more kind of like spots, like, you know, like when you have your period, like from like the hormones and kind of stuff like that. I've tried vitamin E. I've tried kind of seeing if it's materials. I've tried changing kind of the materials I interact with. I've tried many different facial products. I've even found that facial products sometimes made it worse. And sometimes I was even left with burning skin. Maybe that's just because I used too much. It's kind of like this thing where I just have to learn to live with it, really and truly. I've tried so much and I'd rather just do it and not tire myself out and just get on with it. That should be okay for the foundation, for the base. Normally I like to do kind of like my blush and contour first. I don't like to use harsh colours when it comes to contour. I like a very kind of like natural looking kind of contour, if that makes sense. It's the Marvelous Mattes. These are the reloaded version, Marvelous Mattes. But when it comes to actually doing like the things for my face, what I usually do is just use like these top up here. because I found out like harsher colors sometimes make my I just don't like the kind of contour that it does for my face. So what I do, I mostly use like an orange, bit of a red and a dark yellow, like for my undertones that I have. It's just what works best for me. I just kind of like outline most places on my face, a bit of definition, if that makes sense. It's not a lot. I don't like to load it on. I also don't like the feeling of having makeup on my face too much. And that's another thing, like having faces and making them feel like really cakey. I don't like that personally. I don't know if anyone else feels like that as well. But like just having the feeling of makeup on my face is disgusting. I'm not a fan of it at all. So that is pretty much the orange. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference, but it's giving it a bit like a I don't know how to say it, but it looks like more than just like 2D, like a bit more than one-dimensional. But I don't want too much like definition, like when you have like darker colors with bronzers. So this is kind of just like my way of doing it. Again, makeup on a budget. Don't change what is broken. I don't like to go too heavy on the red because I feel like it just doesn't work for me too much. But I do have to agree that it gives a bit of that. Like get it on the nose. I love it on the nose. See, and this is why, because like the color matching between now, the red that we have here for the definition, and like my neck. My neck is like usually lighter than most parts of my body, but the issue is this, I'm not liking like the difference in this. I do try and keep it as central tone as I can, so I don't really usually like to color match with the yellow, but for the sake of showing you guys how I get ready, I'm gonna. I feel like that's just made it worse. Okay, that's enough shading for today. Next, I'm gonna be using the Revolution Translucent Baking Powder. And I love to especially use this kind of like, obviously like after I've done my blush. I've done this whole look and I haven't even done my eyebrows. Move. Just gonna dip it under here. Not too close to the bridge, girl. See, this is my fault for using the blush brush. I'm gonna use again this one's for, is it for contour? I don't know, but it's more angled and it does a lot better. It's on the same series. It's on the same series from the H&M one that I was using this whole time. But obviously, as you can tell, I've got a bit more of like an angle to it, so it helps to get into like the corners. See that? Like that's much better. That does much better for coverage. Mwah, no bars. A lot of my makeup is just vibes. What I feel seems kind of right, what feels right. Again, let's not change what's not broken. And that's a lot of kind of like what I do when it comes to makeup. I cannot lie, I used to be one of those makeup girlies that were like, I don't do makeup on my forehead. I don't do makeup on my forehead. I just like to keep it fresh. I like to keep it without makeup because I like the forehead isn't like, yeah, I'm not on that wave anymore. Sorry to you girls, but that is just not me. I do go for the forehead nowadays simply because I'm doing a lot more kind of things that require my face, that require footage of me being taken. And I found out like I was having footage of me being taken, seeing post-op and being like, how, that does not look like me. I do not look like that. Well, girl, yes, you do look like that. You just didn't put the foundation on your forehead. But again, like I feel like people feel like you need to do like glam bot whenever like you're doing camera work. And I probably should do a bit more, and I probably like, my opinion of this will probably change in the future. But I very much do not like to wear too much makeup anywhere, to be honest. So we've got that on. I feel like I should now, this one I can come back to this brush so it can do its job. Bake, 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 bake. So as I was saying earlier, like I wouldn't usually do all of this for my get ready routine in the mornings. Usually I just do a quick foundation, a bit of blush for definition, my eyebrows, and that's it. I'm out of the house. But as I said, this isn't necessarily glam, but I am going out today, so. Okay, we're coming together. We're coming together. I feel like this has come out a lot better than how I usually do it, which is good because now I'm showing you guys and it actually looks good. We're going to do the eyebrows now. When it comes to eyebrows, I'm not much of a big eyebrow like pencil girl. I literally just get my stuff from hair shop, from the hair supply shop, any hair supply shop, honestly. It shouldn't be more than like £3. If it gets more than that, like, we are in bad times. We are already in bad times, but once eyebrow pencils start getting like expensive, that's how you know times are tough. So I use the Vital kind of like eye pencil. This one I have here isn't Vital, but Vital is kind of like the main one that I use. I do like that it comes with the brush, it comes with the sharpener. Like, that is kind of like standard for me when it comes to eyebrow pencils. I know a lot more other brands do it, but this is just the one I always seem to draw to. So again, why fix something that isn't broken? Let's kind of like give our eyebrows a bit of a brush before we do anything. Funny little story, when I was younger, when I say younger, I mean like 13, 12, 13. Obviously I was like into the Tumblr stuff, and like the Tumblr fashion at the time was very centered towards kind of like white girl fashion. And I mean this in like the best possible way, in terms of like, you had, you know, with the moustache and the high ponytails and the big, like, you know, the eyelashes done, like the mascara, and it was like minimal makeup kind of thing, but it was like, you know, so obviously like I understand like that was catered towards a certain crowd, and as a black girl growing up, that kind of for me was like, oh my gosh, like the definition of beauty. And that has changed so much over the years, but I think because of the crowds I was in, the environments that I was in, that kind of was just where my focus was. And so I always wanted kind of like, they had like thin eyebrows. And obviously, you know, like my eyebrows aren't even bushy. Like, I've never had bushy eyebrows, to be quite fair. And I say that in the terms of like how we do eyebrows now, like 2016 circa onwards, how we do eyebrows now is much more thicker. I don't even have those kind of like thick, defining eyebrows. But back in those days, I'm saying it like it's like hundreds of years ago. But yeah, back in like early 2010s, very thin eyebrows was in. And so obviously I tried to shave my eyebrows. And obviously that didn't work out really well for me. And till this day, kind of like my eyebrows, it doesn't show because it doesn't look bad. But till this day, like my eyebrows used to be over here. Like I had long eyebrows. Ever since I shaved them, they've just never come back. Eyebrows have just never come back. They've never grown back, no matter how much castle or anything I put. So that was a kind of like a downside for me. But we learn from our mistakes, and we we move on. I'm going to be using a bit of a lac for kind of like my eyebrows. I try and follow the shape that it follows. Not too much though, because this one is really good. It actually gives you like the definition, but I don't like my eyebrows being too kind of thick, and that's just a me thing. That is literally just a me thing. The shapes are not the same. I feel like this one's a bit more thicker than the other one. But what I would do as well is kind of go over it with the brown. That black is really powerful, and so maybe I should actually like change colour and just go like a 1B or something. And it's not a lot. What it adds is near to nothing, just to give it that bit more realism, and so it's not too dark, like contrast to my face. We're just gonna do mascara, and again, like, this is an old mascara. There's barely anything left. There's nothing in it. I even feel bad if I was to promote it, because I don't even know if it will still be in stock. I think it's a max factor. I can't tell. Everything's like filled off. I need to get a new mascara to center so it doesn't look just too stagnant here. I'm gonna put some eyeliner. My usual kind of the name is gone now. I haven't bought it in a long time. I'll try and find a picture of what it is, and I'll post it. It should be on the side here soon. I haven't bought this in a long time, and that's only because I'm just lacking on my makeup. This is not going as open. This looks like doo-doo bricks. But we're going to improvise, because in this life all we can do is improvise. I'll dab it out, smudge it out. I wanted it to be a bit more defined, but and I can't be bothered to get the whole correction pad thing out, and oh girl. Just add a little tick for eyeliner. Normally I like to go big with eyeliner, but today, as I said, we're not doing glam. We're just doing little what's the word? Little small flick today. They aren't even as hell, but we move. I usually like my wings big enough to fly away with, but not today. And usually, just to top off the look, I like to add little like beauty kind of spots, non-existent ones. I like to add them on top of the places where I already have kind of like a braids spots on, so like it just kind of seems a bit more natural, if that makes sense. I don't like to add them in places where there's not, where like my skin is flat. It has to be in a place that's already kind of elevated, so it looks a bit more realistic. That's the life hack for y'all. It just adds that bit of like definition, if that makes sense. I don't want to go too much today because, as I said, we're not glamming. I promised, last thing, I'm just going to use like this old Urban Decay Beach Shadow eye palette that I have. I got it for like a Secret Santa present like ages ago. I think I was back in sixth form. So like, I've been a revolution babe, like drugstore makeup for as long as I can remember. So for me that was kind of like a really kind of like nice gift. I did really appreciate it. Hi, you're in my Get Ready With Me. Say hi to the camera.
Hi. Oh.
Hi. That was just my brother. Sweetheart he is. He was trying to give me food. But I think that is pretty much the look. Again, obviously just with a pop of lip gloss, and that was pretty much it. But yeah, I'm gonna undo my hair. I'll come back to that and then we'll see the final look. Okay, and this is the final look. I'm therefore loving having my hair out, and this in itself is a whole story of even just having like my natural hair out just as it is. But it's been an even longer time for me to kind of get used to it, for me to kind of grow into it, for me to fall in love with it again. You know, I've never really hated kind of like my natural hair, but it's just always been a thing of that it was hard to manage. And then I just found out, like, ever since like just finishing like university and just like living life as it is, I found out it's actually very easy to manage. But that's obviously just personally for me, and it's easy to, and not because like black hair is easy to manage in itself, but because I found what works for me. And I think that's a big thing that's stopping a lot of black girls. I mean, this is just my opinion, but I feel like it's a big thing what's stopping black girls from actually finding their hair easy is accepting how it looks at a certain state, but also for just finding out what works for them, that we don't have to be putting 5,000 products and stuff just to make it look a certain way, just to make it grow. You know, I feel like we've been fed this belief that our hair doesn't grow naturally and it can't grow naturally really nice, and this is just castor oil. This is just castor oil. I'm plaiting it in 4 plaits before I go to bed. Like, I understand that that may not be everybody's kind of reality when it comes to their hair, especially with black women. Our hair is so versatile. You can't put it in a box. But I think that's the beauty of it. The fact that you can make your own box. As long as you find what works for you, I feel that's what that matters. To finish off this look, we are going to finish it with Angel Nova from Glur. I tested it once, and I just fell in love since then. It's kind of been like my signature smell, and it's gotten a lot of like kind of like, ooh, what's that? And oh girl, you smell nice, and you smell nice, shorty. It's like got like a really sweet kind of smell, but it's not sickly sweet. It's a sweet with kind of like a hard undertone. I personally am a cologne kind of girl. I love to use colognes, but this is kind of like, it does the job for me. But I'm also like a sweet kind of girl, so I'm like on both extremes. It just always does the job. It always does the job. It's my elite employee. That is us, and that is RiVa. Thank you for watching my Get Ready With Me. Obviously, like, comment, subscribe, all of that jazz. I ain't gonna force you. I don't know when I'm next seeing you, so bye-bye for now.